It's really wonderful to be here to celebrate and support the grads on this milestone accomplishment. It's our hope that this evening you will see what a joy it has been to watch each grad grow into the beautiful people that they are today. Along with you, we are so very proud of them. A few notes. We welcome you to stay after to visit with the grads over a small reception. Tomorrow morning, church service is at 11 o'clock, and commencement is at 8:30 in the evening. Please bow your heads with me. Dear Heavenly Father, we thank you for each graduate, and we are blessed with how they have touched our lives. We know that you love them so much and that you have a special plan for each of their lives. May we feel your presence this evening. In your name, amen. Grace is one of my favorite people at this school. Whenever I see her, she is always open to talk, whether it's about what happened in pre-calc during the day I missed, or about her crazy weekend plans. I swear Grace is one of the most adventurous people you'll ever meet. She goes from sledding to dirt biking to swimming to camping, and she's always ready for the next adventure that comes her way. One time when me and Grace were hanging out, we were driving past this really dark and creepy forest, and I mentioned how scary it would be to be in the middle of all the trees. After I said that, Grace told me to stop the car and said, let's go forest exploring. I remember thinking she was crazy. Why would anyone want to explore a forest when it's late at night and there's no one around for miles? But we went into that forest, and about 2 feet in, I was ready to go back to the car. But Grace was still going. She is actually one of the most fearless people I know, and I still have no idea how she convinced me to go into that forest with her. But at the end of the night, it was still one of the best memories I have made, and I'm happy we did it. I've never met someone who is as friendly and bubbly as Grace. She never fails to put a smile on my face and make my day. Anybody would be lucky to have her as a friend. She is truly the most joyful person and has the greatest qualities a person can have. I'm so happy to have met and got to know Grace this year, and I will miss her a lot when I'm gone. Grace is the sweetest person you'll ever meet. Her smile and laughter are contagious, and just being around her makes you feel like a better person. She's so much fun to be around and brings so much joy wherever she goes. I know you're going to do big things, Grace. You are capable of so much. So as your gift, we got you candy because you're so sweet.
Sydney Jordy. Sydney, this speech is going to be as long as you are tall. The end. Nah, I'm just playing. It's actually going to be more like your mullet. A little messy and very dry. All jokes aside, your mullet's actually pretty majestic. Just like with Carson, we've had some interesting times. Remember the noodles that we left in the bathroom for over 2 months that we all took a fat whiff of? Your reaction was the best.
Great friend. Spencer, you're going to do cool things in life, I can tell. For our gift, we got you a little... Come on up and get your gift. It's a little ring light for your next video production.
Dayton Barrett, what an absolute beast of a man. He was the main inspiration that got me into the gym. He even invited me once. Plus, seeing him with his almighty biceps, how could I say no? It was just magical. Sorry. Anyways, seeing that man in his pure masculine form inspired me to be just like that, and so it began. My journey to become just as buff and strong like him. Being the gym rat that he is, he showed me everything. The bench press, lateral raise, proper form, and even squats. My favorite part in the gym was when he taught me how to breathe properly while exercising. You see, when I used to exercise, I didn't breathe. Not sure how that came to be, but it was killing my gains. It may seem small, but the tip that he gave me was big, which was, bro, you gotta breathe. Those 4 words changed my life forever. Well, at least changed my life in the gym. So thanks, Dave. You also inspired me better. Talking about proteins, like beef, eggs, protein powder, nuts,
Speaking of nuts, one time during PE, Dayton was missing all his shots in basketball, and he got so frustrated that in his rage, took the ball as hard as he could and smacked it down. Boom! Not a big deal, right? You know, he just threw a ball. Wrong. You see, well, what we all thought was going to happen, and what he thought was going to happen, was that the trajectory of the ball would have went boom, boom. Well, what really happened was boom, wow! Right there! As hard as he could. Oh. I think it's safe to say he won't be having kids when he's older. All sillies aside, Dane has actually been a real inspiration. One of the things he showed me was the world of stocks. Him making all that moolah had me researching new information about stocks daily. Now, I have yet to start on it, but I will. And when I do, and when I become a multi-billionaire, engulfing in my riches, will be all thanks to Dayton Bear. So I understand, it's pretty cool.
I think it's time to give out gifts now. Dayton, I know how much you work out at the gym, and I know how much you love working out at the gym, but what happens when you have to stay at home? What happens when you can't go to the gym? How are you supposed to one-up your gains? Well, no need to worry now. With this gift, you can finally start working out at home. Here you go, buddy. Oh!
Second gift, we got you some nuts.
Right. Logan Boersman. It's a name I didn't know 2 years ago, but I have learned since coming to this school that Logan's someone you cannot play basketball with and actually expect to guard ever. You can actually touch the ball trying to block a three-pointer and he will still score it somehow. And to add on to that, if you try to get past him in basketball, he will stop you anytime you try to get to the net. He is also known, I don't know if anybody else notices this, but his laugh is infectious, and anytime he starts laughing, the whole rest of the group will start just laughing in the joy of his laugh. He's also a very good musician, if you've noticed.
Well, what I've noticed about Logan is that he really puts effort and his talent into music. You know, when I'm in band, I'm always watching and listening what Logan does. This man has perfect timing. And as a musician, I gotta credit him for that. You know, he really puts his effort and skill into what he does.
He sure does. So to tell you a quick couple stories about Logan, one of my favorite stories is from coming back from senior football. We got in the car, it was me, Logan, and Andrea, and Coach Brooks, and we found out that Logan is the best DJ in the whole school. I guess being a talented musician also correlates to knowing what music to put on. But the story to top all that was when we were on our way to the senior football trip, and this is a story I can only describe as legendary. Logan was drifting off to sleep along with everybody else in the back seat. We just hear this massive thud. I turn around because I think something's hit the vehicle. I assume a rock's just gonna have left a dent there. No, Logan full on punched Ethan Preston in the face while he was sleeping. Thankfully, Ethan had a good laugh about it, and he's okay. But that was a really good time. And so, because you seem to like to punch things in your sleep, we got you, I couldn't find you boxing gloves, but we got you these gardening gloves to protect your hands when you're punching things.
Ladies and gentlemen, esteemed guests, and most notably, Will. We gather here tonight to celebrate the grade 12's exceptional achievement. However, ominous presence lingers within our audience. Allow me to begin with a simple question. Who here knows Will? Okay? Who knows Will? A lot of people do, okay? All right. Who really knows Will? I see that no one really knows Will. You see, beyond the facade of jubilation lies a mysterious entity that has cast its dark shadow upon us all. It is with a grim responsibility that I stand before you to expose a haunting truth that has made its home within the very walls of our school. Will, as you stand on the precipice of triumph, we are compelled to believe that you are more than you appear to be. So it has come to my attention that we cannot allow you to graduate under any means. I must regretfully inform you that our dearest Will is not of this realm. You heard correctly. Will is an alien from the planet known to no other as Venus! Of course, to prove this most questionable and reasonable theory, I present you very valid evidence. So, Will, what do you have to say to this? Ladies and gentlemen, if this isn't proof enough that Will's an alien, I don't know what is! Now, and to, of course, make this a reasonable vote, let's see here. Who here thinks that Will should be deported back to Venus? Raise your hands. Get a little higher, please. There we go, okay. The majority thinks so. So, without further ado, agents, will you please step up and escort Will out of the property? Thank you. Hold on, gentlemen. Can you please bring Will back on the stage for a second? Will, there seems to have been a mistake because right here, I have all your legal documents to stay on planet Earth. Here you go, sir. I must say, I don't know you that much, but what I can say is you're a real cool guy, and I appreciate that you've been able to be here and be an impact in my life. So thank you.
Okay, so Annika isn't here right now, but we do have stuff to say about her. So I haven't had really much experience with Annika, but I do have one to share with y'all. It was during Natalie's birthday. We traveled down to Kamloops, and for part of the trip, Natalie was with her dad doing a daughter-father dance thing. I don't really know what it was. And me and Annika needed something to do, so we went to the arcade. We played a lot of games. It was really fun, by the way. And we even got a giant ball. After playing around, Annika spotted a claw game. You know, where you got stuffy out of a claw and try to win the prize? Yeah. And we came up with the idea of getting one for Natalie's birthday. We were determined to catch the prize. It took a while, countless seconds, even minutes, trying to grab the right stuffy from the claw machine, as well as $30 out of our pockets. And in the end, it wasn't even worth it. We didn't get a single prize. We were just bad at the game. We probably should have spent our money somewhere else. And yeah, so don't spend your money on tokens on these guys, tokens for these games. They're a total scam. But hey, we won the giant ball.
Woo! Alright, my turn. As well as Carson, I didn't talk to Annika much. So I can't say anything on the personal level about her. But what I can say is that she's incredibly talented at art. When looking at the art displayed in Mrs. Brooks' room, you can easily tell which one is hers without a signature. She's like, oh yeah, that's Annika's, definitely. And if we had an art contest in our school, without a doubt, she would easily smoke the entire high school. probably while blindfolded too. She got no competition. For her career path, I can't imagine her not becoming an artist or an animator in the future. Congratulations on your graduation, Annika, even if you're not here. For my gift to Annika, I got her, there it is, a single Sharpie, because I know how much she loves art, and this will help her in her educational prowess.
Me and Annika, we were both really sad that we didn't get this stuffy for Natalie. So for my gift to Annika, I got her a stuffed dinosaur to make up for the stuffy that we couldn't get from the claw machine, which was a total scam, by the way.
Well, to be honest, I don't know much about Olivia. The biggest thing I've gathered from my interactions with her are that her favorite activity in school is negotiating with Mr. Small about her bio grade, and that she doesn't really like school. She's very ready to leave here, and I think she's excused for avoiding it because she's gone here for her entire life. If you do cite her on the school campus, it will be attached to Callie. Her and Callie are pretty inseparable. Olivia is also very athletic. She joined the football team and played a major role in a lot of plays. She also does skating and, she's just good at sports. Olivia, good luck in life. I know you'll go far.
Olivia, no, I'm only really started talking to you and I've been friends with you this year, I'd say. Yes, we've gone to the same school and have crossed each other's paths for about 7 years now. Why we haven't become friends or really talked much, you may question? Well, I'll give you my answer. I was terrified. Just picture little Olivia and Callie walking around the playground, gossiping about who knows what, and little Grace walking up and asking if they wanted to play. I know, I can't picture it either. Fast forward 3 years later, it was still the same. But now I'm in grade 8, fresh to high school, again terrified. Now this year, I'm in grade 11 and Olivia is graduating and on her last year. I'm thinking, why aren't we friends yet? And then again remember why. And think, I'm not scared of anything. Let's give this a shot. And look, it worked. We were actually talking and possibly becoming friends. Although we are very different from each other, we do share the same mutual dislikes of certain things. Now, I'm not going to list them all, but I'll say a few. School, our bio grades, and a certain someone. Everything aside, I've always looked up to you. You're beautiful, smart, strong, and are willing to literally fight Mr. Small for a better grade. Now, I don't know when, though, you would find time for that, because in some magical way, your house ends up flooding every bio class and having to leave 15 minutes after. Anyways, I think you're a great person. School definitely isn't going to be the same after you leave.
Now, it seems that getting to class on time is a struggle, right? So we got you something to help you in your punctuality.
Oh, Callie. I would say I'm happy to see you graduate, but I'm not. I'd also say that you're my favorite cousin, but you're not. But don't you miss when you were younger? I kind of hate getting old. So many responsibilities and things to worry about. Like taking back to amputating my finger, choking on dog ranchers, and punching out my face. Or sleepovers at your old house. I loved it. I never forget, I wanted to stay another night at your house, so I went up to your dad or Uncle Dave or Darren. So then I asked him, and he was like, you can stay another night if you suck my big toe. And, of course, my dad was there, and, mainly the whole family was there, and they were all telling me I could. So I did. Or the time we were playing on the back of your deck. I don't know if you remember this or not, but I don't remember what we were doing. We were playing on the back of your your deck at your old house, and you grabbed my head and slammed my face against the side of the door and chipped my tooth. Yeah, I still have it, actually. But I'm also excited for what's coming in the future memories. We'll make, for an example, last summer, but we don't really need to talk about that because pretty sure you know what we're talking about. Let's just hope I don't end up puking all night. And I like how you're in charge of my dating life too. Like how I talk to you about any girl or anything, and you're like, nah. And you give me a reason why you don't like her. But no, I've had fun growing up with you and seeing you change, seeing myself change. I do miss the old times, but I can't go back, so I'm just going to be excited for what's coming. And I got you a single rose because everything's better single.
All right, Ethan Moore. Okay, that sounds weird. I'm just gonna call you Ethan for the rest of the speech. Sorry, I'm pretty sure that's gonna be your name for the rest of your life now. So Ethan is one of the kindest, most helpful, amazing students you'll ever meet. You'll notice if you go around the school, if you come here during PE time, he's always helping Jaden, or coach, take in the stuff from PE, whatever it is, baseball gear, football gear, who cares? He's always walking around, and if you ask him for help with anything, he'll be happy to give it to you. He's also one of the kindest, most humble, and best friends I've met. We've had lots of good times together. We'll get to some of those later. Since I've got here, Ethan made me feel welcome. And I think that's something he just kind of extends to everybody. It's like a part of him. He's very kind and generous. You'll get to know this if you get to know Ethan, and you'll get to know all about his amazing character as he shows it off slowly to you, because he's a tiny bit more shy than Ethan Crest, I think. Overall, Ethan's one of the school's best sports players. This year at the football tournament was a great example of that. He didn't get a lot of chances for the first little while because he was playing center. Another thing about him is how helpful he is. He was willing to play the worst position that ever be stuck at in the whole football team just to help the team out. He was playing center and he didn't get passed to very much until the last game when he caught 6 touchdown passes. And yeah, I know some dude there told us it was only 5, but we don't worry about that. It was 6. We know the truth. So to tell any stories about our fun times together past couple of years, it's very hard. I can't tell all of them from the times we were playing NHL 22 or whatever and couldn't decide whether to keep going with our franchise or start a new one. Or the many times he beats me at chess. The one time I beat him at chess. And overall, with all your amazing sports skill and talent and integrity, I'm sure one day you'll become something amazing at whatever you decide to do. Who knows, maybe you'll even become an NHL player. My last story about Ethan, and my favorite so far, is when me and him decided that we were going to play football a little too late at night, and we go out there, and it's pitch black, and we just decided to keep playing for some stupid reason. And we're throwing the ball like probably 30 feet each time, and just almost getting our heads taken off every single time. So to commemorate that, and to let you and I keep playing football in the dark without getting our heads taken off this time, I got you this foam football thing.
Now, I'm not gonna lie, I was unimpressed when I was told that grade 11s had to write a speech about the grade 12s. I mean, I just got here, I don't know any of these kids. But then I was assigned Andrea, and the speech suddenly filled up. Andrea is the person you go to if you want a good manager and slave driver. She's willing to boss you around if you need it, and it shows in the results. She's also the main member of the yearbook, which means that she spent countless hours on her computer doing the yearbook. You know, dedication at its finest. The first memory I had with Andrea was at church, you know? She was the first one after Sabbath school to pull up a chair, introduce herself, and proceed to acquaint herself with everything she needed to know about us. Andrea, good luck with school and work and going to college. I know you'll go far. I have no idea why you wanted to teach annoying kids, but good on you, and I'm wishing you the best.
Andrea. Andrea, hi bestie. The ultimate girl boss. No matter how much sleep this girl gets, she shows up every morning to pre-calc with an iconic story, telling me about her long sleepless nights trying to work on yearbook alone. Or Joe jumping onto her bed, no shirt on, still wearing a tie, while she's on FaceTime with her boyfriend, and then breaking her bed. Yes, you may be thinking, who is this girl? She's a smiling face welcoming you into our school, the soul of our school. Andrea is the type of girl who you meet on your first day of school, being the new kid, and she shows up and starts talking to you like you've been best friends for years, and you have no idea what to say or do, so you just gotta roll with it. Yes, you may be thinking, this girl sounds literally perfect and the best student to have. Well, you're correct. Andrea is great to have, but she comes with her flaws. Her severe caffeine addiction. I mean, she's getting better, but there was a point where she consumed multiple cups per class. For example, Andrea walks into pre-calc in the morning, brings in her books, leaves, then comes back with not one, but 3 cups of coffee. One's in a measuring cup, one's in a cupcake cup, and the other's in a water bottle or a solo cup. Now, all jokes aside, we're more than grateful to have had Andrea for all these years, and our school definitely won't be the same without you. We love and are going to miss you dearly. Bye, bestie. Now, we both mentioned your skill and talent for making our yearbooks, as well as your desired love for cups, so we got you a mug that says #1 yearbook staff.
All right, Ethan Prest. One more Ethan. Ethan Prest is one of the first people who invited me into any sort of friend group or friendship when I came to the school. As he mentioned, he didn't know my name, but that didn't matter. He was still nice to me the whole time. He is one of the nicest people you'll meet at the school. He's always willing to give you a nice little jab or heckle you once in a while, but it's always in fun and it's always nice. Senior football tournament this year was one of the times Ethan got to show off his skill at football, as well as his ability to take a punch to the face while sleeping. But he's also showed off his extremely humble character when we were at the football trip, as he constantly took the blame for things that weren't his fault. Yeah, Ethan, I know you still think that when the defense messes up, it's your fault, but it's not, I swear. You're playing quarterback. So, another big thing about Ethan Prest, is that when you hear him play music, you hear him play the piano as one of his most amazing skills, you will feel the music coming through you. You will become part of the music when you hear him play. He is the most amazing pianist I have ever heard in my life, and to top this all off, he's played less years than me. I just found that out this year. He's been playing piano for shorter than me, and he's still 3 times better than I am. My favorite story to tell you about Ethan has got to be from this year's alumni volleyball game. I'll see if he remembers it as I tell it. This year, alumni volleyball game, we're playing. It's been already a hard game. We're losing like 8-3 or something in the first little bit. Then we get this beautiful set up to Ethan, and he goes up to hit it. He just jumps, and the ball lands like right beside him. Nothing happened. He totally missed it. He just hit the air entirely. And we all had a good chuckle about that. Ethan had a good chuckle about that because he knows how to laugh at himself. And so, because you seemed to struggle hitting volleyball spikes that time, I figured I would get you this bag of balloons, so you have 2 tries next time.
We are now going to begin the candle lighting ceremony. The candle lighting ceremony represents the passing on of the torch of leadership from the graduates to next year's graduating class. This speech is dedicated to my parents. Better get your tissues ready. Mom, Dad, I love how supportive you guys are with everything I do. That's the reason why I made it to graduation and why I'm able to bench 215. Mom, your ambition and entrepreneurial prowess has been an inspiration to me and is part of the reason why I want to pursue business. But most of all, you have been an amazing and caring mother to me. I appreciate all the things you did and sacrificed for me, and I'll forever be grateful. Dad, you're not only a great father, but also a great teacher. You've taught me many important life lessons, which has really helped me better my mindset. You've taught me the importance of standing up for myself and taking initiative to improve my physical and mental health. The two of you have made a huge impact on my life, and I strive to do great things with the knowledge you've given me. I'm so thankful that I get to call you my parents. Love you always.
Dad, thank you for everything you do, for reassuring me that the little noise my car is making does not mean it's going to explode, for teaching me to always have a sense of humor, for living in a house with 4 girls. You truly deserve an award for that one, and for just simply being my dad. I love you. Mom, my #1 supporter, my lifeline, my best friend. Thank you for picking me up when I've been down, hugging me even when I refuse, and for showing me what unconditional love feels like. You are the strongest, kindest, most generous woman I know, and I aspire to be like you every day. I wouldn't have been able to make it through these past 13 years without you, especially since you make my lunch every day. I love you more than words can describe. Thank you.
Mom, you're always there for me. Always there to talk to me when I need it, and always a shoulder to cry on. You do so much for all of us from teaching. You do so much for all of your boys, from teaching us how to behave well, be respectful, and be kind. Although, just between us, you might want to work some more on the youngest. Just joking. Just joking, of course. On a serious note, though, you're an awesome person. You've helped me at every step of the road to excel in whatever I'm doing, from being a personalized taxi for all 4 of the kids, to helping us all with homework. You're so ambitious, it's inspiring. You take on so many tasks, from running a business to working full-time in said business, to raising 4 kids, and now you're also taking online courses. This type of work ethic inspires me and lets me know that if I set my mind to it, I can do anything. Thank you for everything you've done for me, and I'm so lucky to have a mom as cool as you. Dad, I'm so grateful to have you as a dad. You're just so fun. From simply playing with me to putting me on top of a vending machine as a joke. Now that may not sound super funny right now, but to a 5-year-old me, that was hilariously awesome. You always find things that we share enjoyment over and put effort just to hang out with me. You have taught me and done so much for me, from teaching me everything I know about hockey to helping me with my homework, even when we both know you want nothing to do with it. Some of my favorite moments with you are when we're just hanging out together and watching hockey or playing games. Even though, as that random guy on the internet put it best, you are a Christmas snoop with no thumbs. What that means, we're not quite sure yet, but we know it suits you well. I'm so glad that I got to grow up with a dad as cool as you. You do so much for us as a family, and I can't imagine how lame my life would be without you. Love you, Dad.
Hello, Michelle and Andrew. Or Mom and Dad, as I'm supposed to call you. Here we are. I'm kind of surprised I made it, but I digress. This is your 3rd parent tribute up here after all, and I'll keep this one short because I know you have another kid that's supposed to be graduating high school. Thank you for putting up with me. I understand that it is normal for teenagers and parents to clash, but I really put you guys through the ringer. Sorry about that. Thank you for supporting me through all my various activities, for driving me to early morning volleyball, driving me to work, and waiting around for me to finish football practices, coaching, or a late band section. Thank you for helping me get to do everything I wanted to do on high school. Thank you for the little things that weren't so little. Dad, thank you for your sense of humor. Thank you for solving all of my technical problems and for giving me the best advice. Mom, thank you for coming on school trips and taking care of food, listening to me complain, and pushing me to do things I didn't want to do. And even though the house never seems to have a moment of peace and quiet, thank you for creating a loving home for me to grow up in. Thank you both for loving and taking care of me throughout the years. I love you guys.
I've had the pleasure of having the most loving and supportive parents I could ever ask for. They've always supported me and taught me the values of honesty, compassion, generosity, and has shaped me to what I am today. Mom, you've always pushed me to be my best in everything that I do. When I'm crunching to finish my schoolwork and I feel like giving up, you always make sure I don't, and I'm thankful for that. I can thank you for my success in school. I'm also thankful for you for teaching me how to cook, so I can cook up some delicious meals in university. Dad, I remember you taught me how to ride my first bike, how to fish, and other skills that I use today. You guys never hesitate to go the extra mile and make sacrifices so I can succeed. I could not have asked for better parents. Love you, Mom and Dad.
Dad, thank you for being the biggest role model in my life and someone I could always look up to. I remember when I was a little girl and all I wanted to do was follow you around and do everything that you were doing. You have always been there for me and I know you always will be. You're my favorite person to go on camping trips with, and thank you for being the best swim buddy and going in the freezing lakes with me, even when no one else would. Thank you for everything you've done for me, and I'm going to miss having someone to follow around and make sure I'm doing everything right when I'm away at school. And Mom, you are my best friend. You do everything for me and make sure I have every opportunity available for me. Even if it's changing from gymnastics to ballet to figure skating, you have always been my #1 supporter. Everyone always tells us how similar we are and how we look alike, and I couldn't be happier to even be considered to be like you, because growing up, all I wished for was to be as kind and wonderful as my beautiful mom. I'm going to miss you guys so much when I leave for school. Thank you for everything you've done for me. I love you guys a lot.
Mom and Dad, you guys are simply so great. I'm so fortunate that I've gotten to live with you guys for my entire life. Through all of my hardships and trials, you guys were there to answer my questions and support me through. You also supported me through bad financial decisions, such as spending my university funds on a $500 Lego set. You guys would support me no matter the mistake I make, and I'll forever be grateful. Mom, I love your happiness and how you love me, all of our animals, and work with me through anything. Dad, I love your sense of humor and how you're always so open and willing to help. To be honest, my life would be incomplete and dull if I never went home to you guys. Thank you guys so much for being my parents. I will forever be grateful for your incredible and impactful contributions to my life. I love you.
You guys know those commercials with the Sarah McLachlan song and Sad Dogs? Yeah? I've been watching those, so I'm pretty sure I'm not going to cry. I'm pretty sure I cried all that I can. Okay. What better time than now to forgive? Firstly, Father, I forgive you for all the times that I would buy candy with my own money for me to eat, and then you would eat the entire bag. I also forgive you for all the times you would say, I'm sorry I ate your whole bag of candy, I'll buy you one to replace it, and then you would eat the entire replacement bag. I'm letting bygones be bygones, it's all cool. Dad, you've taught me a lot in life. Even if you don't know it, you've affected me in a major way. You've always been the most caring, in some cases maybe too caring, person that I know. I'm not gonna cry. I couldn't ask for a better dad, I'm being serious, and I'm proud to be your son. Are you crying? Anyways, like we used to say when I was just a little kid, love you little, love you big, love you like a little pig. I like my mom, too. My mom is cool. I'm quite happy to be related to my mom. She sees the world in such a great way. I would not trade the countless car rides and road trips and laughs we've had for anything in the world. The summer spent in Powell River at Grandma's and Grandpa's. Oh, that's happening, I might cry. The late nights staying up watching movies and drinking tea. The garage sales in the summer. I'm gonna miss it, Mom. You've opened me up to a lot of great... Oh, she's crying. Sorry. great music too. I don't know where I'd be without Bowie or the Beatles or the Straws. I also realized the other day, I don't think I've ever been mad at my mom. How many of you guys can say that? Right? I'm pretty excited to be out on my own, but I don't think you guys are. Thanks to all my peeps, my lovely brother and sister, my sister's partner Sheldon, all my friends and family, extended family, all the record store owners across the country, all the people who helped along the way, the man upstairs, and even some teachers too. That's rare. Thanks everybody.
My favorite memory of Jaden was the senior football tournament that we went on a couple months ago. He took Olivia, Ethan, Andrea, and myself to Wendy's. But we didn't just go to one. We went to 3 different Wendy's because they were all out of Frosties. And Jaden needed his Frosty. So we finally got to our Wendy's, and as we were heading back to the school we were staying at, Jaden missed the turn. So we had to take the long way back. It was the best part of the tournament by far for me. You're an amazing coach, PE teacher, and Wendy's connoisseur. Thank you.
go to school for a long time. I remember him going to school here back when I was in kindergarten, so it's only right that he came back to teach gym and carry on the athletic program. This year, our senior girls volleyball team had very few players and we needed a lot of help. But Jaden was here to help us get ready to play and put in a lot of time and effort to make sure we could have games, even if it meant sacrificing the boys' team. Since then, he has helped us improve a lot, and he even invited me and Callie to a volleyball night. Jaden has been a great coach and friend to us all, and we will be sad to move on and not have him around anymore. Thank you for everything you've done for us, Jaden. We will miss you.
Okay, now there's a little bit of a confusing issue here. We have two Mrs. Brookses. So I'm talking about high school Mrs. Brooks in this speech. The first time I met you, I was skipping class to hang out with a lost cat that had made its way to school, but that was when you were working in the elementary building. I have thoroughly enjoyed you being in the high school building this year. I look forward to your class every day. And even more, I look forward to those times where we can share a laugh or a bit of excitement. Whether it be from the latest drama or Taylor Swift announcement, you bring such a lively energy to all the interactions you have with people at school. Your patience with students is unmatched by any other. Your Socials 12 class has been really enjoyable and educational. And while I do enjoy a good socials class, this year has been above and beyond. I'm really glad that I got to spend some one-on-one time with you while driving down to the senior football tournament. I would wake up from my nap for just a couple seconds to hear you sing along to every single lyric of every single Taylor Swift song imaginable. Thank you for making the second semester really great. I hope that many kids can take your great classes in the future.
Mrs. Brooks. There's no doubt about it. You are my favorite teacher, and I'm obviously your favorite student. You know? I never saw a teacher as a friend before until this year. I appreciate you putting up with me for the whole year. Too bad you don't have to anymore. I've learned a lot this year with you, except for art. I'm still bad at that. It was an honor to be your favorite student. However, I'm on my way to pursue better things, such as something besides art. You've been great this year, and I hope kids after me can appreciate the joy I've had with you. Thank you.
Okay. Miss Carey has been teaching at this school for as long as I can remember. She teaches socials and French and does so with passion. Miss Carey creates these big projects in her classes that leave amazing memories of school with her students. I, personally, didn't like school as an 8th grader. But when second semester rolled around, and on that very first day at Socials 8, I immediately became enamored with school. Socials just made so much sense in my mind. In fact, I often competed with Ethan for top score in the class. We would take turns having the 96 or the 97%. One of my overall favorite activities from high school is taking socials tests from Miss Carey. Looking back, I feel bad, but with every test, I would require scrap paper to write all the additional information I knew on the subject or to chart out how different topics we had learned about were connected. I'm so sorry that you had to grade my messy, fast-paced writing. I remember one morning at school last year where I was the only student in French 11. Instead of doing work that day, Miss Carey and I played cards, hung out, and just talked about life. I look back fondly on that day. Miss Carey really taught me to love learning and to love school. Thank you for everything, Miss Carey.
Miss Carey's classes are truly very special. Some of my most memorable school moments are projects that Miss Carey assigns us. She always creates projects with a perfect balance between fun and education. This year, I have missed being in her class. She is always so positive and willing to help. Thank you so much for putting up with us, Miss Carey.
This year, we had a new addition to our school, and I'm happy to say that she made it a very easy transition. Now, I know we always miss, but there's nothing like showing up 40 minutes late to your 8 a.m. class and still being welcomed with a smile from Mrs. Moore. Thank you for all your kind welcomes and making all the new changes go smoothly. We're all happy to have had you join our school family this year, and we will all miss you when you're gone.
Mrs. Moore, unfortunately for you, you're never the first Mrs. Moore to give me trouble for being late in the mornings. In fact, my mother beats you to that almost every day. Although luckily for me, you're nicer. I'm joking, of course. You're both very nice, but on a serious note, you're always there to say good morning and invite us into the school. You have done very good making the school a safe, educational place for students. You've made many good changes to straighten up the students at the school, but you're also very nice and understanding. You understand what it means to us students to have a compassionate principal. You're always there whether we need to just chat or to check up on us. We're sad that you're leaving us this year, but we're happy that we were able to have you at our school. We'll miss you.
Okay, so I am gonna cry. Mr. Purdy, the amount of trouble I have put you through since you came to Caribou, from an outsider's perspective, is unbearable. I remember signing up for band in grade 7, adamant that I would only play percussion. And that lasted about a month. I quickly became jealous of the other kids and started playing trombone, which is one of the best decisions I've made. At the time, I thought band class would just be another class for the credits that I needed. But soon, it became a passion and one of the most important things to me. Since grade 9, Mr. Party has been someone I can always turn to when I need help or I have a question. After when I became band president, I started working more closely with Mr. Party and hoped to create a successful band program for our school. I thought I was going to cry again now. And last year, when I started struggling, Mr. Party was right there when I needed support. He said anything you need, I love. Without his intervention, I can guarantee you I'd be standing on the stage today. Mr. Party made me promise him that I would make it to graduation. And here we are. I made it. All I can really say is, thank you for being a great teacher. And while you do have the unfortunate habit of teaching the most difficult classes, it was always enjoyable to be in them. I only took pre-calc 12 so I could take another Mr. Party class before I graduated, even though I'm really bad at math, and I'm definitely going to fail the course. After all we've been through, there's really no way to tell every funny story or relive every good time that our class has had with you. We appreciate all that you do for the school, and I appreciate all that you have done for me. Thanks for everything, Mr. Party.
Hard act to follow. If you can believe it, my part of the speech started the exact same way that hers did. Mr. Party, the amount of trouble I have put you through since you came to Caribou, from an outsider's perspective, is unbearable. I've put this poor guy through the ringer, let me tell you. Still, he keeps coming back every year. I don't know what it is. Mr. Party, you are an interesting character, and far too smart for me to think of any quirky dig on you. And thank you for letting me disrupt the class all the time, and thanks for the laughs. You better accept my Facebook friend request after this.
I can say that I think Mr. Party has put up with our class the most, in spent the most time with us as a group. And to kind of capture all of those memories and all the different trips we've been on and experiences and classes, we've got a gift for Mr. Party, so could you please come to the stage, Mr. Party? We have put together a little scrapbook with our favorite memories of Mr. Party in them.
Mrs. Party has been our teacher for a number of years, teaching us things such as English, careers, social studies, and even Bible in grade 9. I've honestly never met anybody that loves horses as much as Mrs. Party. She has horse posters everywhere in her room, along with little horse figures. On the many trips I went on with Mr. Party, every time he passed the store, every time, he would have to go inside and to see if there's a little horse figure that she didn't have yet. And I bet that's a lot of work. I've enjoyed my time in Mrs. Party's classes. I remember making the biggest socials book in the world, and I had fun doing it. We want to thank her for teaching and being so patient with us for our high school years. Thank you, Mrs. Party.
Mrs. Party, thank you for teaching our English 12. I will always be grateful for the time and effort you put into teaching. Your passion for education is truly amazing. Thank you.
Even though Mr. Small has only been here 1 year so far, we have learned so much about him and have grown a friendship with him. He's one of the chillest, most fun teachers I've met, and every class period with him, we always have a good time, while struggling to get our work done with him always distracting us. No, Mr. Small, we didn't know that yogurt would molds slower while out of the fridge because of some weird science thing.
The first time I had met Mr. Small was last summer during the last week of Airsoft. We were on different teams, meaning we got to shoot at each other. What a great way to get acquainted with your new teacher, eh? This was Mr. Small's first time playing Airsoft, so he was quite timid, hiding behind the barricades most of the time. Unfortunately for me, I didn't know this. I was behind a tree when I got hit, Mr. Brooks, in the side. This led me to stand up and put my hand up, which is the universal way of saying, you know, I'm hit, don't shoot at me more. Unfortunately for me, Mr. Small was either at the angle where the tree was blocking my arm, or he didn't know this rule, because he immediately decided to use the full auto mode to shoot around 20 meters into my direction. And those things hurt, man. I had like 10 big welts on my back.
One of my favorite moments with him has to be when he came on band tour 2K23. With him being our driver, we were with him basically the whole trip. I can't tell you how many times he scraped the bottom of his car during that trip. After our performance at the Abbotsford Church, we got into the car and were ready to go. You know those cement parking blocks? Well, he decided to drive straight over it and damage the bottom of his little itty bitty car.
On this same tour, we were heading to a hiking spot, and we pulled into the area leading to the parking lot. Now this area, they had lots of speed bumps every kilometer or so. Unfortunately, Mr. Small failed to see both the signs saying speed bumps ahead and the literal giant bumps. He then proceeded to take these bumps as if we were on a roller coaster, hitting them at 60 kilometers an hour. We got quite the air and made sure to inform him for the rest of the tour every single time we saw either speed bump or pothole by yelling out, "Bump!"
All in all, Mr. Small is a great guy with a great personality who is just fun to be around. We will greatly miss our time with you.
about you. But I think most importantly, I should mention how much I genuinely enjoyed and appreciated your Bible class this year. I enjoyed the discussions and the details I learned, and I can say I'm definitely a better and more educated person walking away from your class. And I didn't do all of the assignments, but the unit on world religions and the study in Romans have been some of the most enlightening topics I've learned about in school. And you are leaving the school this year, off to the lower mainland. Maybe one day you'll work with some kids in your next job, or ones after that don't make fun of your boldness. Good luck next year.
Thank you to all the elementary teachers. We all greatly appreciate you and everything you do for the school. Thank you for shaping our future generation of CAA graduates. You all are truly amazing. Mrs. Brooks, you are such a kind soul with so much love for your students. And Mrs. Hanson, your hard work does not go unnoticed. Miss Olwell, you're such a fun person to be around and you're a wonderful teacher. And Mrs. Hartford, you're so intelligent and wise. You make learning so much fun. You all have made such a huge impact on so many of our lives. Thank you.
Now, I don't want to sound creepy, but this is the honest truth, coming straight from my honest heart. I've never met a woman who can handle checks as well as Mrs. Smith. Also, upon eavesdropping on her colleagues, I've heard her be referred to as a fax savant. In this case, for the friends out there, a savant is a very learned or talented person, genius level smart in a particular field, and a fax is a magical printer, which is also a phone or something. Mrs. Smith also has to put up with Mr. McCarty a lot, so respect. Mr. Gray. Thanks to Mr. Gray, excuse me. He's done a lot for the school over the years, as he is our work experience coordinator. Special thanks to him for helping us learn while still making it nice and easy. Mrs. Silvera is another key element to our school. She's the secretary. Pretty important. I like to think the office staff is like the heart of the school, but not in like a gushy metaphorical way, but more in like a biological way, in that they pump out the necessary things to the rest of the school, like a heart pumps out vitamins or something. And a very large thank you to our teachers' aides and educational assistants, Mrs. Peasgood, Mrs. Harry Marini, Mrs. Hanson, and Mrs. Davidson. I don't know what we'd do if you guys weren't watching those kids. I'm not sure if he's here tonight, but also a big thank you to Mr. Avalar, our janitor. He is unarguably within the top 10 greatest janitors of all time.
We have reached the end of our school days and grown into the young people you see before you. Throughout the years, many teachers have helped shape us into the people we have become today.
We would like to thank all of our elementary teachers, Ms. Suko, Mrs. Fuller, Mrs. Rusk, Mr. Hornacek, and Mrs. Davis for being great teachers and preparing us for the future. And also a big thanks for our past high school teachers, Mrs. Schick, Mrs. Meeks, Mrs. Atkinson, and Mr. Cruz.
Mr. Friesen was a great teacher. He taught us math and woodworking. I remember having lots of fun in his classes. However, the one foul thing about Mr. Friesen is that he is a Detroit Red Wings fan.
In his math class, if you didn't want to do schoolwork, there were a couple little tricks you could use to distract him. I was never the one doing these. I was often asking him to give us more schoolwork. That's beside the point. You could bring up three things. You could bring up John Deere tractors, the Detroit Red Wings, as Ethan said, or his grandchildren. And this would almost always send him into a 10-minute speech about why these things were so great. If you wanted to remind him of things that he didn't think were so great, you could bring up disco music. He does not like disco music. He's a very nice guy, though. He's one of the nicest teachers. And the few years of woodworking I did with him proved him to be probably the most patient teacher I've ever had.
Mr. Friesen was such a great teacher, and we are truly so lucky that we have been able to be taught by him. Thank you, Mr. Friesen.
If there's one thing I've learned from Pastor Tony, it's that money is never an issue. He would constantly say this while making big plans to help out the people in our community. I don't know how he does it, but that man can talk anyone into giving him his money. One Bible class last year, he told us he'd like to make this room more comfortable for us. Somehow within the same week, he brought us in a new fancy projector and that he managed to get donated to us. And we still use this projector to this day.
We had the pleasure of having Pastor Tony teach our Bible class in grades 10 and 11, and I can confidently say that it is one of the most interesting classes that I've ever had. He always found a way to make every class period fun for everyone to learn and have a good time. Every class period, he would always show up in a good mood and would always tell us such interesting stories about his life. He's a great guy, and we missed having him this year.
Thank you for everything you've done, not only for our school community, but also for our church community. We know you'll do great things in the Adventist system in your new job. Just know that we'll miss you.
Yo. Alright. So all of us are talking about my boy Mr. Mills over there. I saw him a few times. Once was in Staples, few weeks after I got fired. I also saw him in the gym. Saw you in the gym one time. Can't bench 215 though. But you'll get there one day, I believe in you.
If you guys didn't know Mills was cool already, you didn't know he put a matching slit in his eyebrow with me. I thought it would be awesome to put a slit in my eyebrow, so Olivia took a razor and cut one out. I came back to school the next week and Mills thought it was so cool. Olivia sat him down and put a notch in his eyebrow as well. I've never seen a grown man until then cry because of tweezers. Mills, I miss you and all the fun memories we had. Thank you for being someone anyone could turn to and for always being able to make us laugh. We miss you.
Mr. Cody Gary Mills. I believe you owe me and my good buddy Ethan something. Around 3 years ago, when we were in grade 9 at the Christmas assembly, we were sent on the wild goose chase of finding the 100 candy canes hidden around the school. Now, if that number seems big, wait till you hear about the next few years. Anyway, after you collect 5 or so candy canes, you get to spin the wheel. Now, this wheel had many things on it, ranging from some candy to the golden prize. The Mona Lisa of our time. A poster of Mr. Mills in a hot tub, fully clothed, with hair extensions, singing Last Christmas by Mariah Carey. Now, if you'd have imagined the chance of getting this magnificent prize was pretty low. But to my surprise, I had managed to roll and get it. I had done it. I had won. My life was complete. Or so I thought. Mr. Mills, unfortunately, had not foreseen that 3 people would land on the 1 in a million prize. So unfortunately for me and Ethan, we would be out of luck. Although Mr. Mills said to us, when you graduate, I will bring you each a signed poster. And oh, it's time. The past couple of years, while you were teaching us, you tried to distract us. You thought if you were the coolest, most fun teacher we've ever had, that you could distract us from the fact that you had to give us these posters. You went from bringing us to Top Gun, to playing basketball with us every Thursday, and overall being one of the most wholesome and awesome people I've ever met. You do it all. Thank you, Mills. Thanks for all the fun times we've had. We miss you a lot.
Mills, your English class has definitely been a top highlight of my high school experience. Your inability to laugh without crying and your incessant giggling were definitely missed this year. I often reminisce on the days where you would skip the PE class you were teaching to hang out on the couch in the hallway with me. Thank you for teaching me big fancy words like edification and quaff. I am a better person because of my interactions with you. You made every single school day worth showing up for. Thank you for being someone that we could all turn to. Thank you for being such a great teacher, role model, and friend.
I've had a lot of great moments with Mills that I'll never forget. I enjoyed every single one of the basketball boys, even if I went home with a loss. I remember we went to see Top Gun together with you in the theater, and I can say that is one of the best movies I've ever watched. You made school enjoyable, not only for me, but for everyone. Thanks for the fun moments that I'll never forget, Millsy.
I've never been more attached to someone than I was to Mills. Every day when I come to school, he was the first person I went to find. Anytime something important happened in my life, I had to share it with him. Now that he's not teaching anymore, I have to settle for Callie. Now, don't get me wrong, I love Callie to death, but Mills was my person. I remember leaving chemistry every day to find Mills in his science class, just so I could tell him what happened after school when I wasn't around him. I probably spent more time in grade 9 science than I did in chemistry at 11 and 12 combined. Mills, you are truly one of the most genuine and caring people I know. We miss you so much this school year, and I can't imagine how badly we'll miss you when we are gone as well. Thank you for always listening to my stories and being the greatest teacher and friend I've ever had.
Cody, I can call you that now. You're such an awesome guy. Some of my most memorable high school moments were Mr. Bill's class, such as Cassius and Pigs. I will always remember that grade 8 English class until the day I die. So many good bits. I am super proud that we made it through so many English classes without defenestrating error. I admire you because you somehow found a way to make English class fun. You were such a great teacher and honestly a good friend. Thank you very much for your service. Also, I really do hope you remember that auto picture.
I didn't know we had the right movie. Right. He's a staunch supporter of the Oxford Common. And I respect that. Mr. Mills has always been one of the people that I look up to the most. He's quick and kind, and he's just a good dude. He's the GOAT. I don't want to be rude, but he's the GOAT. He made me and my buddy Jacob the godfathers of his first son, Pippin. Sort of an elf's name, but I like it. That first son, Pippin, he's the strongest kid I've ever met in my life. He beat me in an arm wrestle. There's so much to be said about Mr. Mills, and I really don't know how. But thank you. Mr. Mills, you're the Atlas sound of my Ariel Pink. You made me cry on my birthday. I will always love you. We would like to give a huge, we'd like to give a huge thank you to everyone who made our grad possible. Thank you, Lucas Capuke, for taking photos, even though it was so last minute. Thank you, Luis De Silva, for doing sound and technology. Thank you, Matthews Andrews and Philip Edward de Oliveira, for doing the live stream and video. There's a couple other helpers back there. Thank you, guys. And thank you, Mrs. Schick, for agreeing to take on the reception duties. We are so lucky to have you as a part of this school.
Thank you, Zoe Hansen, for being our marching coordinator. Again, so last minute, you're amazing. Thank you, Bourbon University, for donating a wonderful cake for our reception and for giving us the experience of coming to your school. And thank you to all the parents and teachers for making our grad special. We appreciate you guys so much.
treasurer, it is my job to announce the class gift. For a gift this year, we have decided to purchase a set of portable basketball hoops for the school. The hoops can be used in the fall and spring while being stored indoors for the winter. We hope that all the students will get some use out of our gift and enjoy it.
It's my privilege and honor to present the Gold Award to the student with the highest GPA over the grade 10 to 12 school years. He has earned a 97.55 GPA. He is an individual who gives of himself, always willing to help. Although he was hurt at the castle tournament, he was ready to help load instruments into the van for the van trip. We have seen him on campus humbly giving to others. I think that's pretty much everybody's tone here of Ethan Prest. So the Gold Award goes to Ethan Prest. We're so proud of you. Thank you for your hard work and dedication. We believe that with your caring heart, willingness, and work ethic, we all know you will move mountains. The silver cord goes to Logan Bursma. We're super excited about your future. Logan has earned a GPA of 95.53 over his grades 10 to 12 years. Thank you for your diligence, your help with the band, peer support, and CASA. It has been a pleasure to watch you grow. We know you will make a difference and touch many lives wherever you go.
Podiums. I've always loved podiums. I've always been a big fan of podiums my whole life. You want to know why, Mr. Mills? Because it's a product that you can always stand behind. How are we doing? Can we give a hand to all the lovely people who've spoken already tonight? This next speaker needs no introduction, but they made me write one. So, this guy, he's been a huge part of everyone up here's lives. Someone suggested that I try and make everyone cry with this introduction, but I don't really know how to do that. And besides, I think we'll all be crying in about 5 minutes when he starts crying. Without further ado, let's give it up to maybe the greatest teacher of all time, Cody Gary Miller.
I was just grabbing some stuff. It looked like I left, but I didn't. All right. That was really nice, all the stuff you guys said, but you don't understand. Like, I haven't eaten anything today because I wanted to look really lean. So, like, you could have just, like, been like, yeah, thanks, man, and then I could eat, like, 15 minutes earlier, but that was very nice, so thank you. Okay. This isn't very aesthetically pleasing for the live stream, but I'm mostly going to be directing myself at you guys over here. So you can hear me. I don't know if you guys can hear anything. I can't hear anything back there. Did Nathan call you an alien earlier? Oh man, that was weird. Okay. Anyways, thank you guys. First things first for having me here. I'm really excited to be doing this. I'm not used to introducing myself at one of these things, and so I appreciate that, Will. Thank you. And the rest of you guys for making sure everybody knows my middle name. But anyways, for those of you who don't know me, I have a little bit of an eclectic relationship with this school. I'm a proud member of our student alumni here at CAA. I had the privilege of working here as both teacher and principal Not to mention my most important position I held at the school, Will's handler. Babysitter, I guess. It depends what you call it. Although many of these people will insist that we go way back as former schoolmates, I think most of you were in kindergarten when I graduated, but whatever. I'm going to go out on a limb and suggest that the reason they asked me to do this tonight has a lot more to do with our recent history together, as I taught many of them starting in English 8 up until the end of last year. Which does tell you something about this group, because it is incredibly brave to ask the only person on earth who still has access to all of your grade 8 poetry to come and do a speech about you. I still got it. Alright, hilarious. Anyways, no, I know why you guys asked me to come here and do this speech. You asked me because you want the Top Gun Maverick of Brad's speeches. You want the best one ever, right? So that's why I'm here. Everyone has their skills, and my greatest skill, for whatever reason, just happens to be investing years and years of my life building these people up just to enjoy one glorious night of knocking them down. Other than you, Dana. Sorry, you just get the knocking them down part, so... Anyways, enough lollygagging, let's get right down to it. So, whole point of this, and you get a glimpse of it, but not as good as I'm going to do it, you get to kind of learn a lot about these people throughout the night, and that's really my big purpose for being here, so that all of you guys leave here really feeling like you know these grads, and as a parent myself, first thing I just want to say is all of your guys' families, your support system, your parents, you guys did an awesome job, because this is a really, really amazing group of people, so congratulations to all of you, and as proud as you guys should be of yourselves, you should be even prouder of the support systems behind you, because it's just amazing the work that they did with you guys. Okay, get your tissues. I always have a tough time deciding who I'm going to start with, but the more I thought about it, I knew exactly who it had to be. Andre 3000. I'm going to start with you. You see, I know Andrea pretty well, and I know for a fact she's not going to enjoy any of the rest of the night until the part where I am only talking about her and everybody is only looking at her is over. So, congratulations, Andrea. You get to go first. Hashtag girl boss. Our fearless band leader president is one of the most driven, strong-willed people I've had the privilege of teaching. This was on full display during band tour 2K22 when I watched Mr. Party pour in countless hours of planning and organizing, not to ensure that the trip was a success, but to keep from being ridiculed by Andrea when she meticulously combed through his itineraries and schedules, looking for any mistakes that he made. This side of Andrea, the one who will single-handedly take on the yearbook and plan band fundraisers, is funny when thinking about how that juxtaposes with her alter ego, sleepy naptime koala. I'm glad you guys like that. I was like, that's kind of weird, but I think it's funny. Back in the old days, we used to do this thing called Fit Club in PE class, and depending on what we did, there'd be time at the end of the class where the kids could do what they wanted. They could shoot hoops, they could get a little extra workout in, play some volleyball, or if you were Andrea, try and sneak a nap in really quick. I turned my back for 1 second, and then I turn around and be like, no, Andrea, I said free time, not nap time. But by then it was too late. She already had a pillow out, a blanket, was in full pajamas, and actually already in the middle of REM sleep. So in all seriousness though, my last day here at the school, Andrea made a point of coming and finding me and telling me about something that I had said to her years earlier that actually had an impact on her. I think about that all the time, because in the best way possible, that's not normal, Andrea. You're supposed to be a selfish kid who does your own thing and you not think too much about other people because you're not expected to yet. But you're not that way. You want to make sure that if you get the chance, you positively impact someone else. You're a genuine person and someone who fully invests their heart into the things and people you care about. That's cool. And that's something I know the people around you are proud of, but it's something that you should definitely be proud of yourself for. Clap for Andrew. I've done a lot of these, so I'll give you guys prompts as we go, and then we can get out of here at a good time. All right, Methan. Where's Methan? There you are. I'm going to sit over here. As far as I'm concerned, there's no one past Will tonight. That's the only person I see over there. So Methan. To avoid confusion, I exclusively refer to the Ethans as Methan and Pethan. Mimi and... never mind. I'm a child. Right now, I'm talking about Ethan Moore. It's for the casuals, okay? So, as a PE teacher, Methan is my greatest glow-up. When Methan first started coming to my PE classes, he was, for lack of a better word, adorable. He was like a baby deer with the heart of a lion. He gave it his all, but he was all limbs, with a loose understanding of where those arms and legs began and ended. Methan fell more often than a young Connor McDavid. So often that I barely had to sweep the gym floor for an entire year. That all changed when Methan came back at the start of his grade 10 year. We used to play basketball every single day, and respectfully, Jacob and I would wax you boys, okay? But in grade 10, he came back, and things changed dramatically. I remember it vividly. Methan took it down to the low block, he posted me up, gave me the Hakeem Olajuwon dream shuffle, and then hit me with that, skyhook. I don't remember who the skyhook was from. That's so embarrassing. Never mind. Okay. Kareem. It was Kareem. Yeah, Kareem skyhook. Anyways, fuck it. He didn't even fall that time. So I did what any self-respecting adult would do. I told him he traveled and the bucket didn't count. Anyways. That was the start of the glow-up for you, Ethan. And honestly, I don't know if I've ever told you how much I respect you, but I really do, Ethan. This guy, he sets goals. Like when you decided that French was the class you struggled with the most, and you were determined to get a good grade in that class. Or when you wanted to improve your vertical, so you actually ISO'd your workouts at the gym, and then put tape on the wall, which I see is still up there to track your improvement of your vertical. Just simply setting goals like that's cool, but the fact that you actually put the work in is even cooler. Most importantly though, for all the dope things I admire about you, Ethan, you're a stellar friend and a really good dude. You're an authentic person, and the way you treat people might seem to you like it's no big deal, but it is. I know you're the oldest of all your brothers, and to me that's God at work, because I have 2 sons at home. If they can grow up having someone to look up to the same way I know your little brothers look up to you, from the perspective of a dad, that's the best thing I could ask for. Alright, we're keeping this thing rolling with the boys. Logan, you're up. Alright, here's a story about you. One thing people don't understand about PE teachers is that the most stressful part of our job is trying to make teams that are fair. It's an art form, and no class is more exhausting in this regard than the 8-9 PE class. When Logan was in grade 8, when it came to basketball, he was a little more advanced skill-wise than his peers. And when I say a little bit, I mean a lot. It was like when Jordan played on the Wizards. And it was a big difference. That reference not for everybody. Okay. Well, one class, Logan wasn't too thrilled with his team's roster construction, apparently, and he decided he was pretty done with the game. I noticed, and trying to motivate him, I said, "Come on, Logan, are you even trying?" At that moment, Logan responded by stopping his dribble, pulling up from half court, and making an absolutely perfect shot with a swish. Then this little grade 8 kid turns, looks at me, and with his still patented Logan smirk, shrugs. I've never been big dogged by an 8th grader, but that was the first time. Even now, Logan's got that same swagger to him in everything that he does. Whether it be just throwing on a pair of gloves and being a great wideout in football, or absolutely slaying it on the saxophone. He's just cool. And really, I don't think I can think of something he isn't good at. Outside of all this, Logan's also one of the best people to have around. He's smart, so funny,
but he has an uncanny ability to bring out the best in others around him. If it was English class and I made up groups for a project or something, everyone in Logan's group felt like they were going to do well on the project because they had Logan with them. You're someone that others can count on, which is one of the most respectable things I think a person can be. For someone who's so cool and so smart, you make the people around you feel valued because you're engaging, you're kind, helpful, and you make sure others feel involved. And when someone who's so recognizably awesome treats other people that way, it makes everyone around you take notice and think about how they treat other people. You might not even know that's the kind of influence you have, but you do. And that's an amazing way to be. So you're good at literally everything, and you still have that grade 8 Logan swagger, but the way you make those around you feel, that's what makes you cool, man. Drink those waters over there? Alright, cool. That's for later. As an English teacher, I've had the opportunity to read some amazing student work. But off the top of my head, there's just some that stand out. For example, a poem that read like a chess match, and when you read it all the way through, noting all the bolded letters and numbers, it was actually the playing sequence to a checkmate. Yeah, that's some Professor Xavier type stuff, but it's also just Peathan going through a chess phase and messing around with poetry. When I think about that, it's actually a really good example of some of my favorite things about Peathan. You're brilliant, you're funny, you're creative, and Ethan's just someone you want to spend time with. Back when Ethan was playing in one of the junior football tournaments, I met the teams down in Kelowna, and the kids were already at the fields when I showed up. As soon as Ethan and Logan saw me, they were so excited they called me by my first name, which was something they'd never done before, and I don't know if I liked it. So, later on the sideline during the game, Ethan came up to me and he just looked so despondent, and I said to him, "All good, bud?" And this kid looks up at me and he says, "I'm sad we have to go back to real life and we can't call you Cody anymore." That was oddly endearing. It was weird, but it was endearing. I still laugh thinking about it. I can think of lots of times that Ethan made me laugh. But our car rides home, you and me driving back from playing basketball in the evening, every week last year, those are some of the best memories I made during my time here. You're such an easy person to talk to, and I know that your friends, your family, and everyone that knows you feels the same way. That's an awesome gift. The fact that you make people feel happy they get to spend time with you. Legitimately, and I know that every single one of your teachers would say the same thing. If you're making up a team, a group, or splitting a class into pairs, you know Ethan will work well with whoever he's with. So yes, you're brilliant. That's not you. This is you. You're hilarious. Yes, you're brilliant. Yes, you're hilarious. But you're such a genuine person. You're such a real dude. And the way that you're so unapologetically yourself is something that I wish I had when I was your age. The fact that you can be yourself and you make everyone around you feel like they can be comfortable being themselves is not something that a lot of people have. So I think we should really celebrate that. Started chewing spicy gum this week, and I think it really messed up my tongue, so. Yeah. You didn't need to know that. Dayton. You're one of my favorites. Yeah. I know you may find that hard to believe because I never had the opportunity to be your teacher, but that's the thing. Unlike your classmates, you've never had the chance to disappoint me. So, Bree said that one was too harsh. I kept it. I thought it was funny. Now, seeing as you and I are gym bros, I could use this time to make sure everyone knows you're out here double stacking 45s with your bench press. Look at that. I knew that before you talked about it tonight. That's weird, right? Yeah. Which should impress everyone here, but I wanted to make this even more personal than PRs. So, I hit up some of your teachers and your peers, and I will now very publicly reveal what they told me about you. This is a fun one. Alright. There is some overlap, just so you're aware. Like,
You must smell great, I guess, because it comes out a weird amount. Apparently, you're also not accidentally this good looking, because according to an unnamed source, you, quote, wish the school had more mirrors. I like that, that's really relatable. Really funny. Other things I learned that I like about you, I think it's cool that you're into some unique hobbies. The fact you like playing chess, you're interested in the stock market, and you care about fashion really shows your range of interests. That being said, I do have to reprimand you, Dayton, because apparently you're what I refer to as a slides kid in PE class because you insist on wearing flip-flops. Which is a huge proponent of proper gym shoes, breaks my heart. But I guess I can forgive you because, according to your PE teacher, you're a home run machine in baseball and no one hits dingers farther than you do, even in your slides. So you earned some points there. In all seriousness, two things from my research about you really impressed me. The first one is your buddies saying you inspire them to want to go to the gym. I spent 7 years trying to inspire kids your age to go to the gym, and the fact that you're committed to it and you make others interested in it is actually really awesome. So you should be proud of yourself for that. The other thing that really impressed me is hearing about the way you treat the kids in the grades below you. When I was talking with some of the teachers, that was something that came up a couple of times. The fact that you're actually really nice to the younger kids and that you don't ignore them. Right there, I became a Dayton fan. I don't know if you even think it's a big deal, or if you even make a conscious point of doing it, but people notice, and that says a lot about you, man. I wish I got to be your teacher, but even though I wasn't, I'm so pumped you had the opportunity to go to school here, because you've clearly had a positive impact with the way you've treated people, and that's a huge part of what this place is. So congrats, you're a real academy kid now. As a teacher, you're not supposed to have favorites, and that's fair. That's why I always had one favorite. Callie, right? To be fair, Callie's chair in my classroom was only painted gold. It wasn't actually made of gold. Callie, you're one of those people that at first you think is shy and quiet, but then when you get to know you, you're one of the most interesting people that someone can meet. Callie has great taste in books, a fondness for really weird movies, but as far as music goes, I'm not sure it extends past Eminem, so you're not perfect. Callie likes what she likes, and Callie loves the game Skittles. It's like free-for-all dodgeball, and it's absolute mayhem, but Callie loves it, and she'd always join my grade 8-9 PE class when we were playing it. And honestly, after playing that game with her so many times, she could have a future in the business world. She is absolutely cutthroat. She had backroom deals and alliances with everybody. Fortunately, Olivia and I were always her ride or die, so we didn't have to worry. So we just sit back and watch Callie do all the dirty work to make sure that we won the game in the end. I was talking to Coach Jaden. He's probably nervous when I say that. But I was talking to Coach Jaden about this year's senior football tournament. And he was telling me that before they left, he didn't think Callie and Olivia really liked his practices and was worried that maybe they weren't too excited about it all. But once they got down to the tournament, all of a sudden they turned into the two best players on the field every single game that they played. And to me, that was the least surprising thing I've ever heard. Sometimes I think I start making stuff up and then I don't remember what I wrote. Oh yeah, no, I wrote all this, yeah. Callie was some of my favorite memories of Callie actually come from football tournaments. Because, as there is in almost everything that she does, there's an understated way that Callie's just effortlessly good at things. Callie was always lights out when it came to defense, and it made me laugh because she'd make some incredible diving flagpole, bounce off the turf, and then stand up and smile politely while she gave some 6-foot-tall, 195-pound boy back his flag and what was left of his dignity. I remember one game in particular, the other team had a quarterback who could really run the ball, and Callie just absolutely shut him down. He come over to the sidelines right over where I was standing,
and his coach was telling him he needs to run the ball more. And with just the most broken look in his eyes, he looked at his coach in the face and he said, "I can't, coach. She owns me." I think I was the most proud I ever was, ever. Well, yeah. Proudest I've been until tonight. I'm proud that I get to stand here and I get to tell everybody what an absolutely exceptional young lady you are, Callie. I think you're just incredible. And it's not just because you make everything look easy. It's because you're caring, you're kind, you're sincere, and you work like crazy for the things you want. I know that whatever you've got planned next, there's for sure a gold chair waiting for you. That's cute, okay? Will was reprimanding me for not having my speeches done like last night, but I think it's awesome because at about 2 a.m. these got really good, right? Like, it's so nice. No, I'm kidding. I wrote them like 2 days ago. And when I'm writing them, they're fun, but then I actually have to say this stuff and it kind of makes my heart hurt because these are just awesome people and then you're reminded of just how stellar you are. Anyway, moving onward. Olivia, Olives, Little Pupa, I don't know why we call you that. I'll know exactly how you feel about everything I'm about to say because you have the most expressive little face I've ever seen. There is no masking any feelings when it comes to Olivia. I used to tell her that she definitely knows that everybody knows exactly how she feels based on the reactions that she has with her face. And when I tell her that, she goes, "Yeah, I know." That's fair. And that's actually what I really, really respect about Olivia. She's as real as it gets, just a super authentic person, which, like I said, I've respected like crazy. She cares about her friends, is incredibly loyal, and she really puts her full heart into things. When Olivia was in grade 9, she randomly kept coming up to me and asking me about NFL team logos, which was a little out of pocket, but kids are weird, so I didn't think too much of it. Mainly, she just wanted to know what colors certain teams used. This went on for weeks, and then one day, just before Christmas break, Olivia gave me something that I'll never forget. She found an old, unfinished Intarsia project down in the wood shop that Mr. Friesen told her I had actually started back when I was in high school. And she'd been working on finishing it for weeks because she wanted me to have it. And that is maybe the nicest thing anyone has ever done for me. Which is funny, but it is kind of true. That's what I mean about Olivia being an authentic person. She has such a huge heart and she's a genuinely good person. It's obvious to anyone who knows her how spectacular she is. Olivia is extremely driven, and even when she doubts herself, she puts the work in required to blow away expectations. I can't even tell you the number of times that Olivia would be nervous about the paper she was writing. She'd come ask for help and tell me how she didn't think it's very good, and then by the time she turned it in, it was incredible, as she consistently wrote some of the best English papers I was ever given. The same goes for when she didn't want to swing in volleyball, because she didn't think she was good enough. And then after her first spike of the season up in Quesnel, we were on the bench, all the coaches talking about rotations to make sure we found ways to get her the ball as the primary option for attacks. Olivia, you should never doubt yourself, because you really are special. I used to say this all the time, but I want to make sure I say it again for everyone tonight. As teachers, as a school community, we need to do everything in our power to support young women like you. Because that's exactly what this world needs, more Olivias. Okay, I think that about does it. Good night, everybody. Good bit, right? That was a good bit, all right. Yeah. Don't worry, I have content to share. Willie D, the real deal Neil, the pod father himself. There are only two futures when it comes to Will. He will either be the man living in his van down by the river, or he will be the most successful man on earth. There is no in between, and seeing as he is legally the godfather to my oldest child, I am hoping it's the latter. I've said this for years because it was confirmed the first time I tried to teach Will to write an academic research paper. His thesis, and I quote, "The Emoji Movie is the best movie ever made." I told him that although I respect his opinion, that isn't a strong topic because I doubt there are many academic sources available to him backing it up. Shockingly, Will thought he knew better, and he plowed ahead. You can imagine my surprise when I received his paper and he had an incredibly robust bibliography. That is, until I followed the links to discover that he had built entire web pages to support his thesis, and then cited those websites in his paper. Like I said, banned by the river, most successful man on earth. I take more pride in Will graduating than I do for most students, because frankly, I think it is all because of me. Will's sister is one of the closest friends I've ever had, so by extension, I cared for Will like he was my little baby. That being said, I may have set an unrealistic expectation for how the world works. I set him up a weight room, Willie D's Iron Paradise. I gave him his own office so he could do the important business stuff he said he had, and I let him make himself his own podcast recording studio here at the school. I'd like to say it didn't go to his head, but it definitely did. One time, he got caught by a teacher in a room that he wasn't supposed to be in, and when he was told this, the first thought he said that came to his mind was, and I quote, "Do you not know who I am?" Yeah, that was my bad. I'll take full credit for Will making it through high school, but what I can't take credit for is just how stellar of a person he is. I've always found it funny because Will is so humble, sometimes to a self-deprecating degree. But he's honestly one of the least polarizing, universally loved and respected people I know. He's true to who he is, genuinely authentic, super smart, insanely funny, and just a good person with a really kind heart. Most incredibly, doesn't even know how awesome he is. What? Oh, I said, and most incredibly, he doesn't even realize how awesome he is. Alright, before I go, I have something for you. Your guys' little mic that you just completely undercut some of my best bits here with the stuff that you guys already talked about, but I'm a man of my word, and unfortunately I made a promise to some of you. A few graduations back, I gave some very exclusive Mills merch out at grad, and then I had a leftover one that I used as my grand prize in our candy cane hunt. And I think Emily took it home and gave it to her mom, and that upset a couple of you guys. So this is me doing what I said I would do because I remember things, and I just want you to know, before I give you this gift, it comes with a teachable moment. Okay? So when you inevitably take this and you put it up in your dorm room, your apartment, your van, I want you to remember my most important lesson. Be careful what you post on the internet. Okay, let's wrap this up. I just want you all to know that every year at graduation, every time I do one of these, I'm reminded about what is so special about this place. This school, this community, and especially you guys sitting up here. Even if you don't think so sometimes, You're very fortunate that you got to go to school at CAA. That is great. Whether it is for one semester, one school year, or 13 of them, your life has changed forever because the entire time you've been here, God's been working in your life. And He's going to continue to work in your life, whether you're looking for it or not. I look at the relationships that I have because of this place, and I see a family that God gave me. As of tonight, you're all graduates of Caribou Adventist Academy, which means you are officially lifelong members of this family. A family that'll be praying for you long after you've left this building for the last time. One that's excited to celebrate your successes, and one that will be here to support you when you need us. A family that I'm so proud I get to be a part of. So congratulations, you guys. This has been a lot of fun. Thanks so much for having me. I wouldn't have missed it for the world. Congrats.
Thank you for joining us this evening and celebrating our graduates. To close tonight, please join me in prayer. Lord, thank you for the unique gifts of every student as they transition into a new chapter of life. Fill each student with fresh enthusiasm and a heart that is excited to learn and grow. Cover them with your enduring love, give them confidence and grace, and equip them with the ability to persevere through trials. Bless them and their families with wisdom, understanding, and a heart to follow you as they embark on the journey together. Amen. Have a good evening.